So if you're struggling with execution, you're probably guilty of one of these. I know. It looks fun, but what if we try and make it a little bit better? Don't worry, these improvements are simple. You can improve your combos in no time. Before we can get the actual meat and potatoes, let's take a look at what execution actually is. So, execution is the physical act of moving the joystick, pressing buttons at the correct timing, speed, to get your character to do cool things. Don't get me wrong, there's execution in everything, but we, as individuals, we admire your grace and effortlessness. I mean, take any physical athlete in any sport. Now, these people conduct their minds and their bodies to get to a point that simulates poetry. And I know, as a beginner, we strive to get to that level. Heck, I'm still trying to get there, and I've been playing fighting games for years. Yo, can we get started? My bad. Okay, step 1, stop mashing. Now, we're all guilty of it. It happens all the time. But I think a lot of beginners, they have this perception that the more I press the button, the more I guarantee that the move is going to come out when I need it to. And I'm not talking about mashing as if you don't understand what you're pressing, but it's a way to avoid this underlying issue. More on that later. Now, avoid rapid pressing a button. If you press the button 3 times, it's only going to come out once. Much like any shooting game, if you keep hammering the trigger, eventually you're going to run out of ammo. Pretty much the name of the game is accuracy. Now, I don't think I have to be the one to tell you, but you can get more headshots lining up your cursor than trying to just hold down the button and hope that they run in front of you. Okay, step 2, combo practice. Now, obviously we all need practice, but this one is a little bit more specific. Now, a lot of time you spend, 30 minutes, an hour in the training room just to get down one combo. And all of a sudden, yeah, you land it. So you start practicing it over and over in training mode. And then at one point, you just try to take your skills online. And then all of a sudden you're online and you're still doing this. On a target that's doing nothing, yeah, it's super easy. Like, you're pretty much like Evo level if you're by yourself. But when you're playing in a real match against a real opponent, sometimes that perfect scenario almost never comes. And when it does, you're never really ready for it. Like, they're here, then they're there, they're in one place, they're in another place. So what I always try to recommend is you practice on the CPU. I know. Practicing on the CPU, even having them run around, is a good bridge to kind of get you ready for how a real opponent is going to react. But don't get me wrong, it is not a substitute for a real opponent. But you have to think of it as training wheels before you get out there on that 2-wheel bike. Practice it on the computer, try to get that combo off, and then take your talents online. And yeah, don't get me wrong, you may go online, land your combo, and still lose the match. But to be honest, the excitement of landing the combo in its fullest doesn't get much better than that.
Do you know karate? Cause damn it, honey, your body is really kicking.
No, that's just wrong.
It's wrong?
That's
You don't
wrong.
know karate. You don't know karate.
See, I bet that guy sucks at fighting games because he got no timing. Just like mashing buttons, timing is key. Understanding when to counter a punch, when to reel in a fish, if I knew how to fish, or nailing that first date conversation. You need to know when to wait and when to act. Now, one of the best ways to understand time is kind of going back to the first tip. Truly try to understand when you need to press a button. Knowing the time between neutral and recovery is going to be key. This one's kind of hard, but the best way I try to convey it is use some of the tools that training mode gives you, right? Understanding when you can act, making sure you only press one button if needed. Now, execution always falls under this umbrella term, but it's not the end of the world, right? There's always going to be execution in every game you play, but it's how you learn it and how you master it is what's going to set you apart from being your beginner phase to your intermediate. And I don't know, maybe you're going to go to Evo. But if you made it this far, thank you. Drop a like if you can. It really helps out with the algorithm and all that. I'm trying to get this off the ground. As always, thank you. Keep it classy. You'll thank me in the morning.